Hey everybody, today we're going to teardrop this awesome hat. This is a hat that was given to me by Tim. He's in the Facebook group, Show Your Hats and Guitars. He's a really active member in the group, and he's an awesome guy with a great hat collection, really good stuff in his collection. In fact, the camel and brown galaxy was designed by him. That was his idea, so he gets credit for that. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm starting the teardrop in the back. What I like to do first is set the height for the teardrop. I start in the back with that back line. Basically, one of the beginner mistakes I used to make all the time was making the back too low, like doing that slant where the back of the teardrop slants down. I would make it too dramatic and the hat would just suck. So what I do now is I slant it down in the back and I really focus in on the way the back looks and making sure that looks right. It looks high enough to be like an authentic looking, standard looking teardrop, like any other teardrop hat that you look. You don't want to make it too low and you don't want to make it flat either. It looks some people like it flat where it doesn't angle down, but anyway, I like a little angle. So what we're doing is we're heating it super hot here because this is thick felt. It's an unusual hat. It's a custom hat made in Las Vegas by D-Bar-J. It's a very big, well-known hat company, but he makes almost Western felts. Okay, you can see I've got the teardrop there pretty much sketched out. It's a sketch, okay? Once it's starting to look right, I start to look at the front, and I think about how many fingers I want to get that pinch. Do I want a wide pinch? Do I want a tight pinch in the front? And I just start sketching it out, looking at what looks the best. I'll just try different pinches and I'll find one that looks right. Then I'll steam it in. So we've got the width of the pinch in the front. We've got the height of the back set. Okay. Yeah, you could see it's not really, the pinches aren't really done. I'm just getting an idea of where I want them now and stuff. But I'm going to have to steam that hat a lot harder. That's good, like that. That looks nice. It narrows the front of the hat up and makes it sleeker looking, less boxy and wide. This particular customer likes a small looking hat. He doesn't like the big, giant, tall, exaggerated look. It's just not him. And he likes teardrops. He likes the old vintagey look, but he doesn't want a hat that's super high, and I get that. I totally get that. This hat is very hard. It's like a Western stiff felt. It's a little odd. So I'm going to work on those right now, those little top parts. See what I'm doing? I'm pinching it as hard as I can. You want to heat that up super hot, and then you want to pinch it with like all your might. Like just really get that pinch tight. And I told her I might edit that out, but you know what? She thought the camera was off, so should I edit that out? Nah, let's leave it in. Anyway, she thought the camera was off. Anyway, you guys know that my hat company is right here in my house. So my studio, my workshop is right here in my house. Everything. I have an inventory, a stock room, I have a workspace. All right, look at that. Now it's starting to look right, but it doesn't have the definition. Okay, so we want to get the front, skinnier now. It's not going to stay unless I superheat it. I really have to steam that hard because the felt is thick, and that's a Jiffy steamer. It's strong, but it's not super duper strong. There she goes. All right. Anyway, guys, happy summer, happy 4th of July to everybody. I hope everybody's doing really well. 2023 was kind of a rough year. We dealt with all kinds of stuff. But 2024 seems to be a really cool, magical year. Everything is just working out really good. I just seem to have the wind at my back, and I owe a lot of it to you guys. Okay, so I'm going to lower that front now. That's something I always do with my teardrops. I take the very front and I chop it off. So the front point will be the very highest, but then when you get to the tip of the front where the pinches is, I bring it down just a little right there, see? but only like, about a half an inch of it. I'm not bringing the whole front down, just the tippy tip. It gives it a better look. I can't explain it. It gives it an authenticity, and it's just traditional, and I believe it looks right when you do that. Also, a lot of the times people need the hat a little bit lower. You could see, look how high that hat is, okay? Now that's cool for you vintagey guys who likes it, really high and exaggerated, but for the average, hat customer who walks in, tries their, typical Kubras and Stetsons and things like that, they don't want a really high exaggerated crown. They want a crown that's just balanced and looks kind of, casual and regular on them, just not high, So you could see what I did here. I brought the very tip of the front down. Tim likes his hats low, but he likes the vintage look. So this is a challenge. I'm doing everything pretty much the way I would for a very high vintage teardrop, except I'm slowly bringing the front half down. So what I'm doing is I'm blending those two lines a little lower, lower, lower. So it still looks like it's slanting down in the back, but the whole thing is just lower. See that? The height of the teardrop is just so important. The front, the very front part, like the pinches that go right between your eyes, that's the part that's going to give you the whole height. It's going to give you the whole look of the hat. So right in front there is very important for the image. This is for a customer named Tim who likes lower crowns. He likes the vintage classic look, but he doesn't like that tall look. It's just not right for him. Excuse me. So we're looking for a more subtle look. Him and I wear the exact same size, 59. We have very similar tastes. So I'm hooking this hat up the way I'd like it, kind of gangstery, 40s-ish, but not super high because I just know he's not gonna like that. I believe a teardrop doesn't have to be perfectly centered. I don't believe hats need to be perfectly centered. If they're a little bit off, it's fine. Now, once you have your teardrop, trying to lower it is kind of tough. The first thing I generally do is I take a chunk right off of this front here, and I just lower that down. You can see how I did that at the end, and I brought the front down. That's the way I like to do it. I like to have a slant to the back, high point, and then go down a little in the front, almost like just cutting that off like that. That's a little edge that I like to add to my teardrops, especially when it's a person who doesn't want a super high teardrop. If it's a person who's just like a high crown freak, they just want it as high as possible, then, I don't do that, obviously. But it does add a little flair. There's all these little things that add flair to your teardrop. You can make it longer by stretching it out this way. You can make it wider, make it narrower, wider. There's all different ways to give it a little finesse this way or that way. How many fingers do you have here? Is it a 2-finger pinch? Are you doing 1 finger? What does it look better as, Maybe the hat would look a little sleeker if it was a little skinnier up there, like that. And you try it, you see how it looks, and you like it, you steam it in. In this case, I like it. This is a very tall, big hat. It's tall, it's thick, it's wide, it's a stiff fill, everything about it. So we have to really get the shape of this right off the shelf. It's not like you could just shape it off the fly like a soft vintage Borsa or something. Shape has to be right for the wearer, for the particular wearer. So that's one thing. A lot of people don't like the way the bump looks in here. Old vintage hats have no bump, but obviously you're going to need some kind of bump just to get it out of the way. So I like to make that look pretty, either round or a pear shape, and I make it, as low as possible, but high enough to be functional. The way I check that is I wear it, I try it. See how it works okay? It's touching my ear, so it's really deep. No obstruction there. It's good. Alright, would Tim like this? I think he would like it a little bit more like this. Right? A lower look. Sometimes I actually shape it on my head. Actually, good way to fine tune stuff. Like the pinch. Just I lowered it and I narrowed it. It kind of makes the hat look like it's been broken in and worn for a while. Pinched, narrowed, you know. Lowered. Alright, let's bring this back up a little. Just help the flange out a little there. This hat is made out of Western felt, which is very interesting. It's a Western felt, but it's a flanged fedora snap brim. He flanged this hat a little differently. It's kind of locked to the down position in the front, but it doesn't really matter here. I think it just looks fine. I don't think Timo is going to wear this hat up anyway. But, you know, sometimes we can see if we can make it snap. I don't think this hat was built to snap, actually. You know. Another thing is, sometimes a hat will look high if the crown is not deep enough. So if you do something like this, and you get more of a bubble there, the hat will fall lower, and it won't sit high. So it'll appear lower. So you give it a little bit more of a bump in there, more of a bubble, and it actually will lower the position of the hat where he's wearing it, giving it a lower appearance. So I know that's the issue with this hat. You know, it's hard, it's a big hat, and it's going to look high. So I don't want it to look high for him. But it's beautiful. Look at the way they did that bow. It's totally custom. Nice little double loop. It's got a triangle here. Really nice binding. It's got a big, thick binding to it, which is gorgeous. Silver belly. Maybe call that winter white. Alright, this looks a little flat here. I'd like that to look just a little bit more rounded. Actually pulled out a little more, so I'm going to just pull it from the inside like that. It's all flare. Once you got your shape, you want to give it flair. You want it to be smooth, like smooth artist lines. You don't want a lot of like pinches, creases. You want very smooth, graceful lines and shadows. If you see something that doesn't belong, a shadow that's just like an anomaly, that looks like a lump or just not right, you get rid of it, you know? A lot of times when you're not heating up your felt hot enough, you're gonna get wrinkles. So you make it super hot, as hot as you can. Let it permeate through there, just steam, and then shape it. Do nice smooth lines like that. Quick, smooth artist lines, kind of. Almost like drawing a smooth curve. If you don't want to do it slow or get lots of wiggles and waves, you want smooth lines, okay? That's it. Turn off the steam. This hat is finished. Brush it counterclockwise. Finito. Hope you like it, Tim. You're an awesome dude. Enjoy your hat. Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching. This is Kevin. If you'd like to stay in touch with me and everything I've been doing, please join our new Facebook group called Hats and Guitars. Show your hats. It's a cool place to just show your cool hats, meet nice people, and learn a few things.